Alright, I'm gonna get the introduction out of the way, that way we can get more to the gameplay. This is my gift to Extra Life. This right here is a 1973 CRT TV. I like to call it an old knob and tube type. If you look at how you turn it on, you have knobs, and it most likely uses television tubes, if you know what those are. So, the game I will be playing is Battletoads. A game that is synonymous with extreme difficulty. So we'll see how far we can go then. Let me turn it up a little bit. Also, because there's a lot of dead air when there's not talking, I'm going to be providing a lot of interesting commentary throughout the duration of this video. So if my voice is annoying, I apologize. Alright, let's get started. Level 1. There is known as the Spaceship Vulture. Just to warn you right now, it looks like the battery is running low in my camera, so this might have to be a two-parter. Alright, so defeat these guys right away to get to the warp zone. Of course, I don't think I was able to get to it in time, so we'll just keep going as it is now. Okay, first you destroy these guys, and you get a stick, which is a weapon that doesn't go away with the screen like traditional side-scrolling games. Now for known as the hardest game ever, this looks pretty easy, right? Well, the difficulty doesn't really peak until about maybe the next level, or level 3, of course. These gray guys, even though you can't really see the color, is actually more difficult than the red guys. When it flies, refill your energy. I wasn't able to get it. That guy kind of surprised me a little bit. Okay. There we go, he's gone. Now there's a trick where you can ride on these, but for the sake of this video, and because I forget how to do it, I'm just gonna destroy them. And if you do it over a pit, it's a lot easier. Because then you only have to hit him one time. Oh my, that guy came up quickly. Oh! It also works for you as well. I'm used to using the warp around this time, so, excuse me for bad gameplay. But rest assured, level 3 isn't really too difficult to me. I've got it pretty well memorized. So basically, you just pick up the ball, and then you chuck it at him. Do that about 3 times, I want to say. And also try to avoid the laser beams along the way. I missed them. Okay, so it was 3 times. On to level 2. A little out of practice with this level, so I might lose another life here. Let's see what happens. The Wookiee Hole. Kind of an interesting name for a level, isn't it? So first you just start up with beating these crows. And if you want to, you can kind of spam 1-ups from them, but I'm not that skilled at this game. These guys, if you do a special wrecking ball technique, they're pretty easy. But you can also use the big foot abilities, I'm going to call it for lack of a better term. These special birds give you swords. Or, that's what I like to call them. But be warned, if you don't get them right away, they'll cut the line and then you'll lose a life, just like that. Sorry if I'm not donating too much commentary, it's starting to get a little intense. If you use the wrecking ball with these guys, I believe they die in 1 hit. I just can't seem to get it to work for some reason. There we go. I know there's another one coming. There. Just like that. Only 1 hit. Of course, you get less points, which leads to less lives, but, you know, I think it evens out in the end. And then there's more crows along the way. And then you have electrical wire, which, you gotta memorize the pattern, otherwise you get zapped. Which is probably pretty obvious, but whatever. Pattern's pretty simple at first, but when the electricity wire turns gray, which once again there's no color, then it gets a little more difficult because you have 3 or 4 on the screen at a time as opposed to 1. Ooh, they give you a lot of flies in this level, don't they? Now, like I said, the difficulty doesn't really peak until about the next level. But even then, I might make it look a little easy. Okay, and then we have another one of those big things. Just like that. And that one takes twice as many hits as the other ones. I would say it's not a glitch, but I don't know that much about this game. In that sense, anyway. Gameplay-wise is how I know this game. I'm surprised I didn't do the big foot thing there. Okay. Seem to be getting a lot of points from these birds. Okay, here come the gray ones. See how the pattern's a little more difficult? So you gotta kind of dodge and weave a little bit. And then after that, it's the end of the level. And we get to where it gets really serious. As you can tell by this foreboding music, if you can hear it, I'm not really sure how well the buzziness factors into it right now. And then we kill the Space Invader ripoffs, which quite literally go into your health bar and take it away. So with these standard enemies, you just do the ram horn, and then you just keep booting them until the big boot comes up. Which is a fun little fact, the big boot is probably my favorite attack in this game. There we go. I thought it usually took a bit more hits than that, but we'll see. Okay, and then, oh! Gotta be careful about that, otherwise you fall off the edge. Same thing will kind of happen with the boot, because notice you kind of go forward a little bit. Alright, here's the part where most people have nightmares, so I'll try to help you out a little bit. First thing is, take the bottom leg. It's just a little easier, because the first wall will be on the top. And you go up, down, up, down, up. You stay up twice for this one. Down, then stay down, go up again, jump, down, then you jump 3 times. Third jump's a little difficult. Up, down, down. Sorry if I got it reversed, because sometimes the position of the wall is a little interesting. Ramp, jump, ramp, and then you jump twice. Which the timing is a little difficult, so sometimes I hit that wall. Ramp, up, down, ramp. And be sure to always stay in the center for the ramps, otherwise you'll just fall off instantly. Jump twice, and then don't jump for the third wall, otherwise you'll die. And then it gets a little faster. Then you jump 3 times, I believe. Yep. And then you stay under. Jump up for the ramp, but make sure you're in the middle, otherwise you'll miss it. Okay, so down. And then you just stay up, and then jump when the double wall comes. Down. And then up. Go for the middle, and then jump. You jump. And then for this wall, you either stay all the way up or all the way down. They put it right in the middle just to mess with you. Ramp, ramp, ramp. Jump, jump. And then the ramp is on the side this time, so you gotta be a little more cautious. And then you stay in the middle, jump for the ramp. And then this next part right here is where I got kind of confused. Okay, so you just gotta find the good pattern for jumping over those blue things, then come to pit. You just gotta jump at just the right time. If you jump too early, you won't make it. And then for this part, you just go up, down, but I'll be using the warp. If I remember the count right. Yep. But rest assured, take my word as a gentleman that I have beaten this level all the way through. But for the sake of this video, I want to see how far I can go, so we'll see what happens. Surf City, one of my favorite levels, just due to the music, so I'm gonna let you listen to it for a little bit. And stay in the middle for the one-up. I missed it. For these whirlpools, you stay down, then you go up, then you go down, and it's pretty much the same basic pattern. Up, then down. And then they can't hit you. But if you do the up and down transition wrong, then there'll be a few problems. Then you have a few more Space Invaders. There's a few more flies up ahead, so it doesn't matter too much. And then we have one of those big leg things. This one, it's not really different from the smaller leg things, except I think... Well, actually, no, it doesn't take more hits. But I think maybe there's another stick or something? I don't know. Sometimes it falls off screen, and sometimes it doesn't. Oh, this one takes 3 hits for some reason. See this thing right here. Alright, and then comes the boss. Let's see if I can do the trick right. See, the trick is you lure him into a corner, and then you just keep whacking him. Or this trick also works too. Didn't think it'd be this consistent. Okay, here's where it gets intense. Pick up the stick. When he goes up in the air like that, be sure not to stand still for too long, otherwise he'll just smash you. And then I think you lose a life after that. And don't go into a corner either, because the trick works for him as well. Got him. Alright, and then you go to the surfboard part again. Now this part is very invariable. Unlike the wall section, the turtles, as I'm going to call them, appear at different intervals. So sometimes it'll be really easy, and sometimes it'll be really hard. There's no predicting it, really. Or at least I don't think. So the best tactic I have is wait at the bottom. There's less turtles down there, I believe. Now for this ramp, be sure to go further ahead, that way you get the one-up, which I missed. Alright, and we'll see if we can make it to the end without losing another life. And then this section is the last. They only have 3 turtle things to watch out for. Well, what do you know, I got a 1-up from the point level anyway. Dark Queen seems a little mad with me. Oh yeah, the snake pit. This is where the last warp zone is, and I'll be taking it, because I haven't been able to get past the snake pit yet. But yet again, I haven't really tried too hard either. I have made it past the snake pit in the Super Nintendo version, which I'm not sure if it's easier or harder, so you tell me, maybe. So just follow these basic patterns, and with the first level there's no spikes or anything, so if you fall down the edge, you can just start over again without any penalty. Except for maybe wasting time, but there's no timer in this game. And then you go out the outboard. Now for the warp zone, you just grab onto the snake, and then you just run all the way to the right as far as you can. And there you go. Now most people thought the game got pretty difficult after level 3, but I think the game gets pretty difficult starting with this level. And you'll see what I mean coming up, I think. First thing is you gotta figure out the patterns of these girders, otherwise you fall through to your death. As well as the timing of the electric thing, which is probably one of the first few times I've ever messed that up. Luckily though, there's another stick at this section, so it'll help you out. And you will want the stick later up. It's an interesting power-up in a certain circumstance. Then you get the stick there. As always, watch out for that electricity, otherwise it'll kill you instantly. Watch out for the balls. I'm trying to make that sound the least perverted way possible. Go up. Now this part is also another invariable part. Luckily, that other block thing jumped towards me, so it was a little easier. Let me see if I can get the timing of this. There we are. And then that's your first checkpoint. Well, actually your second checkpoint, sorry. And let me show you why the stick is important. There's a little gas thing over there, and the only way to kill it is when you have the stick, and then you can ram-horn it. But if you don't have the stick, you just gotta run for it. And then you jump up. Alright, now the timing of these fans and the gas thing you kinda have to wait for, which is a little annoying. So I might be here a little bit. Or maybe not. Now you can also destroy the vans like the gas thing, but I don't have the time. Now this jump right here is a little difficult. Usually I make it about maybe 7 times out of 10. I made it. Then you jump up here. Now this gas thing goes across all the screens, so you gotta be really careful. You gotta be really fast about it too. Now luckily with the spring jump you can just stay on it without any worry of being killed. And then, after this part, is just a whole bunch of electricity things, and then the boss. And here's a little trick. If you keep moving the screen upward, it'll force you to jump. Not that it's that much difficult doing it the normal way, but I always like to show off that trick. Now the basic thing with this guy is you want to make sure you don't land underneath his feet, otherwise they'll squish you and you lose a life. And also when he shoots the gun, be sure to duck, otherwise you'll lose a life that way. You can also juggle the boss, but I'm not that skilled at it. Or maybe I am. And then near the end of his life, he'll just keep bouncing a lot. Like he is now. Oh! And that's what happens when he flattens you. And I only have one more hit. Aww. Then it's on to the next level. Which isn't as difficult as you would think, because there's this one part where if you get a certain distance, you pretty much have unlimited one-ups. So you have unlimited tries. There's nothing wrong as long as you keep getting that one-up. And knowing me at that section, I'll probably be taking that one-up a few times. Here's the best thing I like. Oh, I'm kicking the spikes. And you don't get hit from them. It just shows that they put a lot of quality and time into this game, as well as the graphics. Still doesn't take away from the fact that it's difficult, but it's not unfair in that aspect, if you understand what I mean. It's hard to explain. And you just, when you're in the water, you walk really slowly. Now at this part you gotta have pretty quick reflexes, otherwise the spikes will kill you. Alright, and then you run away from the Indiana Jones type trap, but this time it's a giant gear. And that time I was able to jump over with the ram horns, which I'm only able to do maybe 5 times out of 10. Now with here, you gotta jump at exactly the right moment. This wheel is a little difficult. You gotta be pretty quick with the jumping, otherwise it will catch up to you. I don't like to do the ram horn trick here, otherwise I'll just fall down and most likely just end up dead. Now this one can be a little difficult, because if you accidentally start running, it'll partially walk you to the spikes. Oh, I wasn't able to do it that time. Go across. Yay! You get points regardless, but I think it's more rewarding when you do it that way. Now with these eels, you gotta be really careful. So you just line up against this wall, and then the spikes don't touch you. And then you jump across, very carefully though. And stay away from those eels, otherwise they'll kill you in 2 hits. Still though, that's probably my second life. I kind of lost count. You as the viewer are supposed to be a part of that. Okay, where's this eel going? Someplace I don't like. Okay, that time I wasn't able to use the wall as a guide, so it was a little more difficult. And then with this part, you have another one of those robots again. Now here's another jump right here that's a little difficult. Maybe that one-up will help. Oh! Okay, I didn't hit the spikes. Now with those fish, you gotta be really careful, otherwise they'll shove you into the spikes. With that one, as long as you stay on the top, it can't touch you. Now sometimes this porthole lets out eels, just like it did now, but other times it won't. And that's a gray eel, which of course they're all gray, but those only take 2 hits as opposed to 20 like all the other ones. Now here's a fun little trick. If I'm able to do it right, I'm able to get the sharks to kill each other. See? Just got it to happen. I'm happy I was able to put that on video. Okay? And then you just keep swimming. Now with this part, you have to tap the A button just right, otherwise that will happen. And also, touching the spikes is also instant death, so you gotta be really careful. Now this part right here is probably where I had the most difficulty. Sometimes the toad won't make that jump, and then you're just flattened because you won't be able to make it. Alright, now if I'm able to make it past this section just fine, I'm to the infinite one-up area. And once again, you have another one of those spike things, so just... Oh, didn't tap the A button just right. Let's try it again. It's probably the pressure you're putting on me, you know. It's a psychological principle, but I don't know what the name of it is. Then you just stay on top of the roof. And then you jump. In the dry sections, it's a lot faster to move, which is kind of interesting. But maybe it's a bit more realistic at the same time. If you were trudging through mud, would you run faster as opposed to running on a road? Alright. And then that's the other checkpoint. Alright, and there's the infinite one-up. You'll always start right at that little section, so just as long as you get the one-up without dying before getting it, you're just fine. And then on to the rabbit ducks, as I like to call them. See why I call them that? I'm actually surprised the battery is lasting this long. It's kind of interesting. So then you get the one-up, and then you just go down again. Because of the one-up, you have infinite tries with this section. And this is the last section before the end of the level, so it's perfect. Now here's the best part to do with this duck. You gotta hit him just at the right moment, then he'll turn around, you fist pound him, and then if you scroll him, he won't come back. For some reason I don't see a lot of people do that. I don't know if they just don't know, or if they just have more skill, or maybe they just want to rush through it. Alright. Then, gotta watch out for the big mouth piranha again. Now at this part you could kill the shark, but one, I consider it more entertaining because later on there's a dry section where it kind of follows you the whole way down trying to eat you, but it never gets a chance. Alright. Oh! And sometimes I miss that jump as well. I think you get the point of this level. I'll just kind of let you listen to the beautiful music for now. I went to the other section. Still got the one. I don't know why, but this level and level 11 are the ones I have the most difficulty with. I just can't seem to jump over that duck, can I? Well, if I don't get it within the next 3 tries, I'll cut the video here, and then bring it back once I get it. And then you'll see if I've gained any other extra lives or not. Okay, I'll stop it right here for now. Okay, so about 7 tries later, I finally get to this jump. Let's sure hope I don't mess up the other one. Then you just kind of dodge and weave in and out of these spikes. Not too difficult. And kind of look how the shark is just following you. He wants to get you, but he just can't. then that's the end of the level. See, there's not too much left of it. Now at this level, there is a certain trick to it, but I've only been able to do it about twice. Basically, with this level, you have to beat the rat to the bottom of the screen before the bomb goes off. Now the way you do it is if you completely beat up the rat on his way down, you just get to skip the other 3 sections of the level. This part requires a lot of concentration, so there might not be a lot of talking. There. First level, sounded sweet. And like I said, I'm not really able to get the rat in time because, as you can see, the timing is a little difficult. This is kind of the intermediate level. Not as bad as Part 3 is. Part 3 might take me a few tries, but we'll see what happens. And I usually mess up the pattern there a lot. Ah, I almost had it that time. I just love this speed-induced music. And as you can see, the rat moves a lot faster now in this part of this level. But he always slows down around this section, so if you're able to get through it pretty fast, it's not too difficult. The best thing you have to do with these steel girders is try to cut corners, but if you do it too fast, like I did, then he'll start to catch up. Of course, I think I might be able to still beat him. Let's see what I can do. The music gets faster and faster. I can just imagine the guy on the synthesizer just pounding at those keys right now. Almost had it! Oh, yeah, whatever. If I get a few more points, I'll get an extra life to replenish that anyway. Of course, this time, if I don't cut the corner too much, I think I'll be all set. Yeah, I don't think I'll get it this time. Or either that, or maybe I'll make up some ground later, but usually, whenever it slows down that much, there's a problem. If you make it to about the 4th platform, I think you got it. Alright, here we go. Usually it slows down around this section, so if you can really speed it up, there. Oh, almost had it again. Well, we'll see what we can do this time. It's probably that psychological principle again, but whatever. If anything, I'm pretty happy I've gotten this far without using a continue. One of my great prides with this game is I have seen it to the end without using a continue. And I can't necessarily remember for sure, but I think I may have beaten the game once without using a single life, but I really don't know. So don't quote me on that. Oh yeah, I think I got it this time. It's all about that electricity at the bottom. If you get the timing just right, then you'll be good. But if you don't get it just right, then you'll be zapped. Got it just right, and boom! Got that one. And here comes the boss. You probably weren't expecting that, were you? For now, he just kind of stays in place, but he'll slowly wander as it gets on. See, he's starting to wander a little bit right now. I usually like to give him a little room and then smash him. We'll start going a lot faster as the battle progresses, but that's probably pretty obvious. And also, if you're really skillful, and I tested this one time, you can actually jump over him and then get onto the other side of him, like this. Well, maybe that isn't too skillful, but, yeah, whatever. But then he starts to pick up a little faster. The only problem is you gotta be careful, because if you don't hit him on the way through, he'll pretty much just end you. Or maybe not. It's all about knowing the ram horn technique, which is a little difficult because to run... Sorry about that, the batteries just ran dead on me somewhat unexpectedly. So as I was saying, running, you have to push the directional button twice for you to run, and then do the ram horns, you have to push B. Now, since the video went out midstream, I did kill the final boss, which is why he's kind of suspended in the air like that. Well, not the final boss, but the boss of this level. Now comes the next level, which, if I end up using a continue, I think I'll just kind of end it there, because this video is getting kind of long. So with this level, you have to keep holding the direction that you're going in, otherwise you'll slow down, and the Indiana Jones thing again will kill you. So we'll see how all this works out. Seems to be working fine now. Maybe it's just an illusion, but it seems like you go faster when you're going up and down as opposed to side to side. And once again, I'm not sure how much talking there will be. This is pretty intense. Then they give you a few curves along the way to help space out the distance between you and the ball. Yes, I was able to get it to disappear from the screen for a little bit. That means I'm doing really good. There's one time I did so good that I surprised myself a little bit. You see, the ball was only visible for about maybe 15 seconds, and then it never showed up again until the end. Now, the interesting thing about this level is that as soon as you finish it, you have to then defeat the ball. I'm actually surprised I was able to do this in just one shot. Sometimes even on a good day, it takes at least 2 or 3. And then you gotta wait for the ball to come to you. And then you do the favorite face of mine. Oh! You gotta be careful with the ball as well, because if you do it wrong, it'll zap you. Just like that. And if it zaps you twice, you're dead. Although there's a cheap trick I've learned, is if you pick him up, and then bash him, and then just keep punching him, just rinse and repeat. Of course, if you're not standing in the right spot, it won't work. I say about the 4th, maybe 5th arrow. Although sometimes I guess it goes free. I just can't seem to hit it. Ow! Just smashed me. I did it! And then for the last level you run off, for this level you run off the screen, and it's the final level. Welcome to the revolution, Battletoads. This is where you start to lose your heads. And I will definitely agree with her. Alright, we'll see how far we can make it from here. Although I will say I wish I had a few more lives, but I don't know, maybe I'll gain a few along the way. Watch out for the spiked ball. Now, with these green platforms, they will disappear, so you gotta be really quick about it. And with these yellow ones, sorry, I keep forgetting there's no color. Basically, they'll just sink if you stand on it, so it's best to keep jumping. Now this section I think is a lot harder than it looks. You just keep jumping and jumping. Now there's a section near the end of the level, which gets a lot more difficult than that, which hopefully I'll be able to show you that much. I knew there was a little yellow rhino somewhere. Ooh. Now the best thing about the stick is it doesn't go anywhere. I might have mentioned that earlier. See? Now if I turn around, it'll still be there. And then you can just pick it right back up. In every other game, if it's off the screen for too long, it just dies. Now where's the puff of smoke? There it is. There's a little glitch with this one. If you attempt to hit him but you miss, he'll just go around you without hitting you. Which I'll try to demonstrate. See? That one only takes 3 hits, but there's one later in the level that takes 7. Right now, with this part, if you jump just wrong, the enemy will just eat you. And yes, when he eats you, it just completely kills you in 1 hit, unlike the other rhino things. I like to call these Kirby's evil twin. And where that first Kirby's evil twin is, that's the first checkpoint for this level. Now with these guys, if you accidentally swallow the bubble, it's like swallowing poisonous gas bubble, like I just demonstrated. Once again, that part's a little invariable, so sometimes if you get through or not, really all depends on luck. Just gotta make some ground up. I appear to be on my last life right now, so we'll see what happens. If anything, I think you'll probably want to know what the ending's like. So as soon as I get to the top of the tower, I'll just show you. Alright, then another green guy comes up. This guy takes 7 hits. And because I don't have the stick, it'll be a little more difficult. Best way to do it, just headbutt. Over and over and over. There is one really nice thing about this level. If you do make it up to the final boss is a level within itself. So if you die on the final boss, you just start right at the final boss and not at the beginning of this level. But then you have this moving platform which moves the tower for you, which is a little annoying. And then you have a series of jumping platforms right here, which after this is where the 3rd checkpoint is. It's all about the timing. There's no timer in this game, so the only thing that's rushing you along is yourself. Alright, after this point is where the checkpoint is. Be sure to hold on to the pole, otherwise this guy will literally blow you off the screen and then kill you in one fell swoop. Then you wait for the green platforms. And then there you go, there's your checkpoint. Of course, I ran out of lives, so if I die here, we'll see what happens. And because that platform at the top dies before all the other ones do, you gotta be really quick about it. And then here's a section of those big enemies that blow you off the arena. Luckily they're courteous, so they don't blow you off until you touch the pole. Although getting off the pole can be a problem, because notice that it raises the screen up. That means that anything below you kills you, as if you fell off the tower. Which game logic doesn't make any sense, but you know, it's in every other game. And then there's another green one. Ooh! I guess I didn't attempt to hit it that time. And then there's two of those faces in this section. Yeah, you gotta be really careful when grabbing onto those poles. That's probably the most difficult part. You gotta get to it just right. But luckily you don't have to push any buttons or anything. And I just died. Well, I'll pick it up later. Be back. That didn't take as long as I thought to get back to this point. Well, let's continue. And be sure not to grab that lower stick, because then it does nothing. And if I haven't said already, to get down, you push the down button. You gotta really figure out the timing, otherwise it'll just die. Alright, now here's probably the hardest section of this level right here. Let's see how many times it takes me to do. Surprisingly, I feel safer more on the springboards than those platforms. Alright, now here comes the fate section. Yes! Final boss! Which is really all about just hitting her when you can, and then avoiding her when she's the tornado. Of course, try not to get too greedy with the hits, otherwise she'll take a few on you. Like that. Oof. That hurt. Ah. And when she's the tornado, she can just drain your life in one fell swoop. So be very careful to avoid her. If I'm lucky, I won't have to use another continue here, but we'll see what transpires. Then, it seems like towards the end, she likes to get really high. I don't know why. Maybe her drugs aren't doing it enough. I don't know. See how high up she is? Ow. Yeah, I got a 1-up. That makes it a little easier then. A little less pressure. I didn't even need the 1-up. And, just so you can enjoy it more, all I'm gonna do is just read the text. I guess you slippery suckers think you're pretty hot stuff, huh? Well, don't cheat the Dark Lady that easily. Till next time, Battletoads. Then you get your princess and your counterpart. I always like to do the dance. Way to go, Toads! The big guy's back and the princess is saved. If you wonder more about the story, you could probably just look it up on any other YouTube site. First, I can't remember what his name is. I want to say Warts? No, that's, Pimple, that's it. You play as it. You go up into the ship, then you see the end screen. And so, the Dark Queen is defeated once again, retiring into the shadowy margins of the galaxy to recoup her losses until next time. Maybe alluding to a sequel? Good question. And that, my friends, is Battletoads on a really old TV that was made about maybe, I don't know, came out in 1974, so I'd say about 20 years. Well, thanks for watching.